Hey everybody, hope everybody is doing great. We're going to talk now about the next project that you're going to be working on. This is one of my favorite projects that I assign in Adobe Illustrator because it breaks you out of the box a little bit. So everything you've been designing for me has been flat, two-dimensional. Now you're actually going to design something that becomes a three-dimensional product. You're going to invent your own product, and you're going to create a marketing campaign for it, which involves a promotional poster. And you can really go in any direction. It can be a toy, it can be a food, any sort of product. But you do need to come up with the concept yourself. So I don't want you to package Nikes or Lucky Charms or something like that. So this is a great example. I'm going to show you a few student examples here. This is by a previous student of mine named Matt, and he came up with Fruity Blast fruit juice. Something that's fun, colorful, marketed to kids, obviously. And he designed the Fruity Blast juice box there, even has the straw, which is a nice touch. He designed that in Illustrator using a template that he found. And you don't have to design your own template. You can find a template online or in a book or wherever, or you can even take a package apart and scan it or take a picture. That works well. I've had students do all of those things. And it doesn't have to be to scale either, because when you're setting your document up, you're going to set it to 11 by 17, both the poster and the product itself. With the template, it's going to be 11 by 17. And so, the Fruity Blast juice box there is actually a little bit smaller than a juice box may be, but not much. But in some cases, there can be a bigger difference. This would be a perfect example of that. This is a student named Brad who came up with Dirge's Pizza. And I really like the pizza kind of campaign that he came up with. And if you look closely, you can see that he actually used a pizza box template. So because he used 11 by 17 page for when he designed it, and it printed on an 11 by 17 page, so the pizza box is much smaller than a pizza box would actually be. So it's sort of like a prototype if you want to think about it like that. But he sort of played around with these little cartoon things. He drew the cartoon and scanned it in, and then he designed everything else using Illustrator. You can bring in images that you draw by hand into Illustrator. That's fine. He's playful with having coupons, so you can play around with that if you want to do that. Anything to kind of promote the product that you've created. Let's see. There's a close-up of the pizza box. Again, it's quite a bit smaller than a pizza box would normally be. But, when you photograph it the same way I did, which is I shot this up against black, you really can't tell how large it is. So this could be a really nice portfolio piece for you, because it can actually look like a real product that somebody comes up with, or that you come up with. So I hope that makes sense. So you want every piece of it to be designed, the front, the back, the sides. You don't want any blank space. So it is a challenge. Here we've got Galactic Gummies by a student named Elizabeth. I really like this piece a lot. She also went the kids kind of product candy route. Even come up with her own product name there. She's added, a barcode. She's added all the stuff that you would find on a real food product. You can even see the net weight there with the 4 ounces. Really, really nice job of having that attention to detail. So again, just to be clear, and I'll show you a little bit of blank templates in a bit. This was designed. The product was designed in Illustrator in a flat template that was filled in by Elizabeth. And then we printed it out, and I can print this for you, or you can print it yourself. And you want a nice quality print. And then Elizabeth cut it out, and then she put it together Students have used glue to tape their products together, or they sometimes they'll just actually fold together. And then some students have used tape, maybe double-sided tape or something like that, like hidden inside the box to keep it together that way. It doesn't really matter, but there's nothing special about the paper that we use. It's just normal 11 by 17, which is a standard print size, 11 by 17 paper that we print onto. Of course, nice laser jet or colored print that you need to get going for that, show those details. But other than that, there's really nothing special. It's not printed on cardboard or any heavier cardstock, even though it looks like it's put together in a way sometimes, but it's actually just regular paper. Here's another one that a student did named Vince. He came up with Captain Ahab's Krill, which I guess is he's going with fish food here. One of the things I liked that Vince did was he had little holes, which is sort of like relate to the portholes in a ship. And he actually cut out you can slightly see the reflection there, little pieces of plastic, and he insert those inside the box to make it seem like a real product, like there's a see-through in there. But of course it wouldn't just be empty space. There would be a plastic protector on the inside of that. But otherwise you can see really kind of eye-catching, nice textures, makes it sort of give it a wood effect. Let's move on from there. Okay, this one is a nice one. I believe this student's name was Victoria, and she has created Ping India ink. And one of the things I really like about what she did is that she actually got a small bottle and she put labels onto the bottle, put some ink in there, or maybe some paint or something to make it look like ink, so that it actually goes into the small box that she used. She also, like Vince, has a cutout with a piece of clear plastic, so the person who was buying the product could see inside the box. And then she's got a nice big bold poster that mirrors the design that's on the product, and it's sort of an ink splatter effect to kind of get the idea of ink across. Really nice piece. And I think because her box was a little bit on the simple side, I think it helped that she added the extra element of having the real bottle of ink that would go inside. So just to be clear, the box that she used there's no way that was used for India ink. She just found a simple box template. So you can be creative with the way that your products relate to the templates. So I'm going to talk more about that in a little bit. But if you just search for, like Google search for, box template, square box template, rectangular box template, you'll find these sorts of things. Or you can also look for templates. There's another view of her poster. And now you can see the product inside there. Specific box templates like Chinese food container, you'll be able to find those. All these containers or templates are out there that you can use, and you don't have to design that yourself. You can use that template because it's already been properly made of the correct proportions to be able to fold together. Okay, in fact, right on cue, this student created green tea, and she actually used the Chinese food like container, and she just just kind of appropriated that design for like green tea, which is something that you can obviously do. You can just find a template for one thing and turn it into a fun, quirky thing for something else. I've had students do, obviously we're seeing a lot of food and toy type things. I've had students do makeup before, a lot of makeup, hair gel. I've had students do soda, beer, like whatever you could think of. I've had students that come up with that. I really like the touch of the deckled edge there on the poster too, where she made it sort of look like a burned edge on a promotional poster. All right, so this one is more of what would be a toy. Ferocious. So this one is several years old, and I remember when we had the critique, one of the things that other students brought up was that she needed to have more product uh, information on the container. It's a really clever, fun container. I think if you pulled the mouth back, there was like a tongue that came out, but didn't relate so much to the actual like telling us what the product is. So there could have been some confusion on there about like, did she think the construction itself was the toy? Like, so I put this one in here because I really like the design and it's well done, but I think it's off the base a little bit in terms of the project concept, where this is a container for something. You're not actually making the toy or the object itself. Okay, so this needs to be all about marketing and the promotional of the container itself. This is a better example. This is a student named Jay, and he came up with Mini-On monsters, sort of inspired by the Alien film franchise. And you can see he's got little things on there like ages 7 and up, and little details in there to get the idea across that this is like a little tiny toy that a kid could open and play with. Kind of fun. I like his little illustration that he did in Illustrator. I believe that was done in Illustrator. I remember him working on his drawing tablet for that. Nice job by Jay. And the last one I'll show you here is a simple box container, and somebody is marketing Sweet Scents caramel cookie. And it's actually a scented candle that's meant to smell like baking, which is kind of a fun idea. Probably already exists out there. I don't know. And again, just to kind of give you ideas for the promotional poster, which you also need to come up with, you can add things like she did, where it says new 2 for $5. So that kind of thing, anything that will help promote it. If you did the book project with me, you're familiar with that concept of promotional material. But it's like if somebody comes into the store, they see the product on the shelf, and the poster helps sell that product. So think about it like that. You can bring photographs into your, so far we've seen mostly illustration, but you can bring photographs into your piece if you want to do that. So they brought in the cookies there that you can see. I really, encourage you to take your own photos if you're able to do that. If there's something that you can sell, she could have worked like candle in there or something like that as well. Nice pattern in the background as well. I think that works really well. Okay, so this is just a little bit of like practical information, just in case you're still not really getting the package part of it. I just looked up food container on Google search, and it shows you what it looks like when it's put together and when it's designed flat. So this area here, where you can see my cursor hovering around, that is the flat. That's how it's going to look when you start to design it. So it's going to be flat on the page. You want to enlarge it to maximize the object onto like an 11 by 17 page, which I'll be talking about in a lesson. And that's where you want to start your design. Here's another example. That's Chinese food container, and you can see how it looks both folded together. That's a blank template, and how it looks flat on the page. Okay. And last one here, this one is more of a standard. I guess this could be used for maybe clothing, something like that. It's kind of close to a shoebox size, but not exactly in that range. But you can kind of see how it looks flat, and then how it looks folded together. And the challenge for you is you need to figure out how the letters and everything line up correctly. And a lot of students have just printed the template out and actually hand drawn on the blank template, and then figured out like, oh, okay, so my letters need to run vertically on this side. My logo needs to be here, and actually just see like a rough sketch version of it before they design it, so that they don't have any surprises when they get their printed piece and it doesn't look right, or maybe some of the letters are upside down when they weren't supposed to be the particular way, and then they get frustrated because they have to redo it, reprint it, and that kind of thing. So I do encourage you to kind of plan out really well, figure out how your template is going to come together. If you need to, as I mentioned earlier, if you need to find a product and actually take the packaging apart, that's going to show you exactly how everything is arranged properly on the template. And that's it for that. Let's go out of our mode here. And the last thing that I'll do, just quickly show you, in case you didn't get it already, I'm going to show you really quickly how you can just do a Google search. Let's go to the old Google here. And I'm going to type in, you know what, let's do crayon box template. And if I click that, and then I can go to images, you can see that several options for this come up. And you get a little bit of variety because crayon boxes actually come in different sizes. And this little guy right here shows us exactly how you can start to design it flat on the page, and how it will also be cut out. And I'm going to talk in another lesson about how to start working with your template inside the the Illustrator file, how to start that thing. Okay, so let's also just really quickly do Chinese food box template. And we have some great examples here. And you can see the flat template's what you're looking for. You would find the one that works best for you. There's a little bit of variety in the design. Maximize that if you can. Maximize the box on the screen. I'm now going into Pinterest, which I didn't necessarily mean to do. But you get the idea. Maximize that. Screen capture it. It doesn't even need to really be a high resolution file, because you can you're just drawing over it, and when you're finished, the template is going to be erased anyway. So keep that in mind. Let's just try one more. I haven't tried this particular one yet, but let's try toy box template. All right, and we've got some other options here. So this one actually shows you how the piece folds together to have a clear view window, which is one of the things that we talked about. That can be real helpful if you want to play around with having a view window. This one there too. So they can be very complicated or very simple. It's completely up to you how you want to do that. Somebody's done like a fun, popsicle box template. You can be real creative with it. Or if you're a little bit unsure about your cutting and pasting skills, you might want to just keep it simple. But have fun looking up some of the templates. Please feel free to email me or reach out to me and ask me any questions or run any ideas past me. I'd love to give you some feedback. And I think this is a fun project, and you're really going to enjoy it. Good luck, everybody.